If you've ever felt personally attacked by the phrase, "Show me your calendar and I'll show you your priorities," this episode is for you. Over the last few weeks, we focused heavily on awareness. Can being more aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it change things like your productivity, mindset, and your overall happiness? The experiment ended with me winning, but not feeling like a winner. Pretty much the opposite, because I became consumed by the identity it was creating. I wasn't running the experiment. It was running me. And as soon as the pressure and the stakes were removed, everything fell apart. That is how we ended up here. Can you build consistency without the stakes? I sat back and looked over my life. If there was one clear thing I lacked, it was structure. I tend to do things as they come or wait until the last minute. Consistency wouldn't be in my top 10 characteristical descriptions. Side note, characteristical, not a real word. Consistency wouldn't be in my top 10 characteristics or descriptions. More like inconsistent, sometimes funny, means well, kind, and empathetic are a few that bubble to the surface, none of which are going to help me build systems for consistency when motivation and pressure are nowhere to be found. So for the next 7 days, I'm going to try to be different. One day, one small act to try to find the one thing that sticks. Day 1. Establishing a baseline. Where does the system break? Before you can fix anything, let's see where it's broken first. Bob the Builder. Just kidding, I have no idea if that's a quote by him. I made it up. That's a Jordan Hiller original. Before you can fix anything, let's see where it's broken first. Starting with a blank canvas of a calendar, I sat down and structured out the next 7 days. I'm testing the system called time blocking. Time blocking is a time management technique where you schedule specific tasks or activities into designated blocks of time on a calendar to help improve focus and productivity. I've tried this in the past with varying degrees of failure, but hey, how does the saying go? If at first you don't succeed, try again. That is what experimenting is all about. It's not about overhauling your life in a day. It's trying, it's measuring, and it's moving forward. Even if it's only inches. Time to crack into this egg and see what glows. Day 1. Failure from the beginning. In preparation for the week, I started by getting my things ready for the morning the night before. I had my lunch packed and ready to go in the fridge. I laid my workout clothes in my bag next to the bed and was ready to hit the ground running. I even had my full workout schedule set and in my phone to follow to a T. But life has a funny way of testing us at our lowest, so it decided to throw me a curveball. My block of time, 5 a.m. to 6:25. Wake up time, 4:30 a.m. Hours slept, 4. I hit the snooze and tried to salvage another 30 minutes, but popped out of bed around 5 a.m. with a tight 4 hours and 40 minutes of sleep, and was hit with my first decision. Do I skip my first block since I've already missed it? Or do I get in and look at the glass half full? It is Monday, 5:29 a.m., and I officially got 4 hours and 40 minutes of sleep. It's at the gym. Oh, it's time blocking week, so gotta stick to a schedule. Morning, Tiny. I even gave myself a little motivational pep talk on the drive into work after. Cut 2. Okay, let's see how this goes. When you are designing an experiment or you're designing change in your life, you have to account for things not going right, because they're just not. So for example, you want to go to the gym, you have your schedule set, and you only get 4 hours and 40 minutes of sleep. You've got a couple of choices. Do you skip? Do you go back to bed? Or do you adjust to the time you have? And there is no right or wrong answer. It is all self-dependent, okay? This is you versus you. There should be no judgment. There should be no comparison. Don't think about your friends that go 5-6 times a week and they can hit 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Don't think about the gurus you see on Instagram that have perfectly sculpted biceps and abs and they're meal prepping every day and their protein smoothie has 148 grams of protein. This is you wanting to just be better than you were yesterday. And if you can hit that, that is success. Now I'm in the office staring at a blank calendar. It's funny how most people wish they had more open time so they could work on the things that they actually wanted to. But coming from somebody who builds their own schedule, this doesn't always come as a benefit. I struggle with analysis paralysis. With so much potential, I become frozen. What if I pick the wrong task? What if I should be working on something else? What if I miss something important because I'm somewhere else? And yada yada blah blah blah. It's exhausting living in your own head. So I thought to myself, what would Elon Musk do? What is going on, my friend? So sorry for the quick interruption, but what would have been a hilarious Elon Musk overlay will now just be me, okay? I'm letting go of the ego, I'm letting go of the perfectionism. I'm trying to release one video a day for the next 7 days, roughly 7 minutes, and out by 7 p.m. And in order to do that, I've got 1 hour to get this video out, and I cannot continue to put any more B-roll footage into it. So without further ado, back to the video. Those listening on audio, hey, it's not going to make any difference to you, but maybe go to Spotify or YouTube. Check out the video. I did spend a decent amount of time on it. 30 minutes over my lunch break. Okay, back to the show. Okay, I didn't really do that, but the man does talk about first principles a lot, and I figured I could give those a try. First principles. It's a way of breaking a problem down to its most fundamental truths, and then reasoning up from there, rather than relying on an analogy or an existing assumption. So I broke my job down to its core functions. That led me to education, program management, and back of house. Now, these won't mean anything to you, but it's just meant to make you think. What are your core job duties? If someone were to ask you what are the number 1 and number 2 things you do, what comes to mind? These are your core. From there, I think we internally understand what subcategories live within those buckets, so that is what I did. I laid out my 3 core functions and then broke those down into physical activities or tasks I needed to do within those categories. This is what it looked like at the end. Or technically the beginning. Either way, that's just semantics. This is what my schedule looks like now. It is full of time blocks with specific tasks and activities. This won't be the same for you, but please try and picture your calendar as we walk through and see how you could apply it to your own. 7 a.m. to 7:10. Prep for the day. Check your calendar and align with tasks. 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Core job duty. Education, back of house, or program management. I've decided to break these up into 1 hour blocks. I've tried working in longer before and found that I lose focus or get interrupted about an hour in. I've tried to account for this. 8:30 to 8:45 a.m. Reset. Think, are you working on the most important task? If it's a no, don't beat yourself up about it. Realign and get ready for the next block. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Jump back into core job duties. Now, I've left these purposely open-ended because my position, I could be working on any one of my top 3 throughout the whole day. Which one really depends on a handful of factors, so by keeping this flexible within the block, I've just given myself the ability to do my job the way it needs to be done. If I just finished something pertaining to education, I could shift back into program management or even back of house. Think of things like emails, invoicing, and reporting. 10 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Reset and ask the same question. Are you working on the most important task? Okay, just a little side note. If you are a grammar Nazi, you're not going to like my speaking either, because I feel like I'm jumping from first person to third person in here. If I'm referring to myself and then referring to you as the listener, I apologize if that's confusing, but that's just how my brain works. So reset and ask the same question. Are you working on the most important task? Am I working on the most important task? Are we working on the most important task? All right, let's jump back into it. Between 10:30 and 11:30, depending on if I had gone to the gym or not, this changes the time I sit down for lunch. That is also the time I'm trying to jam all of these recordings into, so boss, if you see this, please don't fire me. This is over my lunch break. I will also leave the spot open for listener feedback calls. Let's just take a moment to pop into the scheduler here and see if anyone books some time. That's strange. It's empty. For those just listening to the audio, I was just staring very intensely into the camera and trying to make you feel uncomfortable so you would schedule some time to hang out with me. Or tell me how I could be better. Either one works. Okay, let's breeze through the afternoon because it's just a repeat of the first half of the day, alternating back and forth between 1 hour blocks of focused core duty work, core duty, and 15-minute resets, and then diving back in until 3:15 p.m. That is when I reset my priority list for the next day. Did anything come up that needs to be handled? Do I need to make adjustments to the schedule? How's my productivity and focus over baseline? All right, we'll jump into day 1 findings. I spent a lot of time jumping in and out of back of house work, such as email. I'm very much an inbox zero type of person and feel a small amount of pride in how fast I can respond. This can be good in certain settings, but I think overall it is at a detriment to my overall productivity. I think I used the word overall twice. Moving on. Something to consider for the rest of the week would be setting up an official email check time, maybe once in the morning, one more in the afternoon, and one more before heading out for the day. This may be a hard habit to break. Outside of that, I did find the blocks to be a nice guide rail for my focus. I knew what tasks needed to be done, and for the most part, in what order. Seeing the reminders pop up on the computer did seem to keep me on task during those blocks. I won't say I was perfect, but definitely over baseline, which can only be described as squirrel mode. Felt like Tommy Boy right there. All right, my friends, and that is a wrap for the logs on day number 1 for time blocking. So we'll recap. What broke? A lot of things. I failed during the first block, but I adjusted. I did not give up, and I did not let that deter me the rest of the day. And overall, I did see some benefits from it. It was really nice to have some structure on my day, and I'm looking forward to continuing that throughout the week. All right, my friends, I'll catch you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Rain, sleet, or shine. Like the goddamn U.S. Postal Service. All right, that's it.